L. $25. Silicon Valley Mercury new headline, National Semiconductor fired 500 employee. I was one of the 500 senior workers, and sent email to President, fire a 20 years hard work worker without layoff package. Is this fair? My company gave me retirement package to exchange dropping discrimination charge from U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. This story explained the high technical company at Silicon Valley, how to do cost cutting by fire people, why the U.S. soft engineer jobs moved to India. It also explained my depression due to the tool used to fire people by company called I1/2 employee performs review I1/2 and EEOC investigations on NSM. Call by the company email. Copy of my email to President of National Semiconductor and forward email about the dispute. 2. Brian Hallis / President of NSM subject. Fire a 20-year worker for performance reason without layoff package. Brian, I am 62 years old and hard worker for National Semiconductor 20 years. They are going to fire me for performance reason without layoff package. Do you think this is fair? I am sick and hard to sleep and depression. Please allow me sick leave for 4 days. Please assign a new HR person to read my email and set a counselor appointment next week. Thanks. Regards, Jason. This is email to my manager. Is personal, his director, is manager. They had a pre-meeting as a setup to me. 2. C. Lee Monticello / CC, Laura Frank / C / Mike Lynn / Subject. More detail about the meeting with Laura on January 24th. Celie, my manager. I have to explain more detail about the meeting with Laura on January 24th. 2:00 p.m. to 2:25 p.m. PA meeting with you. 2:25 p.m. to 28 p.m. Sent email to Rick from my desk and asked for help because you gave me hard time. 2:30 p.m. to 40 p.m. Walked to Rick's office and Tom Creamer told me Rick was at the meeting. 2:40 p.m. to 51 p.m. Borrowed PC outside Rick's meeting room and forwarded email to Laura. Asked Laura to set meeting with me while waiting for Rick. 2:51 p.m. 3:51 p.m. Tried to call Laura both as the office phone and cell phone but nobody answered. Met Mike walking out of meeting room and Mike said he had only 5 minutes to talk. I showed him my email and he said he would talk to you. 4:00 p.m. 4:05 p.m. Met Rick walking out of meeting room. I showed my email to him. Rick said he cannot interfere with Celie, said I have to work PR with you, but I can't talk to Laura. When he opened the meeting room next to his office, Laura was waiting me. 4:10 p.m. 4:45 p.m. Conversation detail between Laura and me. Laura just repeated everything from the car just as Celie have, which made it apparent that you already had a meeting to discuss me. I complained that Celie gave me a hard time because she is discriminated against me because of my age and the fact that I am not female, and Laura wanted to know the details. I explained that you humiliated me in front of staff for missing the drive meeting. After the meeting, you walked in front of my desk continuing to humiliate me. During one of the PR meetings, you complained that I did not concentrate on the meeting. Karen already covered the meeting for the whole group, so I did not see what the big deal was about. Celie have constantly humiliated me on several occasions in front of Karen and Vijaya. For instance, Karen and you both would say very loudly that I did not do the test. Vijaya, on the other hand, said it was not a critical problem and said she already recovered the problem. When I told Laura the details of my experience, she said, I did not hear anything. On several occasions, I was unable to carpool with Julie's big pin, only you and Karen in the van, and you told me you were ladies and do not want men in the car, and I had to carpool with ready for group lunch. When I asked Rose to help me to transfer to Tom's group, and Rose sent email saying not this month because there is stuff going on that Tom is working on in his group, just like the stuff that Celie is working on with me. I said that I was one of 2 targets to save layoff package costs by firing people. Laura said that you cannot compare different cases and you are not supposed to print Rose's email and hurt for people already. Other than email, Rose told me our group doing ugly thing on this month, but I can't tell you. I said to Laura, Rick have a cost-cutting plan, target same high-paid employee, fire them for performance reason, and Celie use this killing 2 birds with 1 stone. 1. To exercise the cost-cutting plan to get rid of the people she do not like. Laura said this is nothing to do with work. Please do not bring this up. The following email sent to my manager, Sealy Personal, his manager, his director as Sealy Laura Frank / Mike Flynn / Rixie / Subject: set the record straight. Sealy, I need to set the record straight between the two of us and what went on during my two staff meetings. 1. MVS Croc and JCL Convert and Cross-Reference Project. When I completed the MVS2 Unix Cross-Reference Project, I made it easier to complete the MVS Croc and JCL conversion and cross-reference for I2. I completed the demo version on Unix and showed you how it will cut a great deal of cost. However, you rejected my idea immediately and said, "You are wasting your time and I do not want you to do the duplicate work with Karen's COBOL version." I stopped developing the Unix version at that time. During the staff meeting on October 30, 2002, you put Karen/Jerry both on a task list for job J650SC and SAR that I had just completed for MVS2 Unix Cross-Ref. You never told me I had to do it alone without Karen's involvement. During your meeting with Karen, you called me to ask how long it will take to finish this project and I told you that I am waiting for Karen's involvement or for her to hand over the JCL. You blamed me for the delay of this project even though I never expected to bear the full responsibility for this project alone. The next day, I used Karen's JCL to start run all the details and found a lot of problems. You asked me to run my Unix demo version for comparison and the result? Since Unix version takes less than 1% of CPU time and cost, there is no debate to give up the COBOL version the next day. I saw you use a calculator to calculate the CPU time at your desk. With Karen there, you told me that it is not bad, only 1.5 CPU time for each job and the just longest CPU time on my sample J650SC VM improved from 41.35 to 23.16 CPU time. Yet the both of you still insisted that I install the COBOL version. I said, please let me do a Unix version and Karen said she did not care about the CPU time as long as the Unix version can do all the functions. Finally, we agreed for Karen to install the COBOL version on production to buy the time for me to change to the Unix version that will perform the same function as the COBOL version. When I developed the Unix version and told you I can generate a complete cross-ref very easily, you said it was not needed, which I did not understand. When I asked you why Karen did not install the COBOL version, you told me you told her do not install it. As I understand it, the MVS Croc cannot handle more than 300 at a time for capacity problem plus 1.5x 497 equals 745 minutes CPU time. It is impossible for anyone to install it, so I did not understand why you expected the task to be done a lot sooner. This was Karen's project in the first place. You should have asked her to install and finish this project by herself. It is not normal procedure for a manager to ask somebody else to finish their project, and your reason was she was busy and you wanted me to learn the COBOL version. My main objection is that I function as a Unix programmer and as a backup for Ready. I have 35 years COBOL experience, therefore I do not need to learn the COBOL version, but I still tried to do the best I can. After the meeting between the three of us, you asked only me to finish this project. The next day I asked Karen's involvement, but she did not give me any advice. I found her presentation sample and ran every step by myself, and I showed you OC7 looping, a long CPU time problem. I saw you walking to Karen's desk and I did not know the details of your meeting. Then the other day, Karen told me the OC7 was fixed and to try it now, but I told her that Sealy asked me start the Unix version. Her involvement only started at that time. You assigned Karen/Jerry to this task as if she is the leader of this project. If she was busy, either you and she would order me to do it. But I only got two orders from you. First was put Karen/Jerry name on the task list during the staff meeting. After 2 weeks, you suddenly asked me how long it was I going to take to finish it. You could not accept my offer to finish my Unix version in 5 days. I worked very hard at home, and during Thanksgiving, I worked more than 20 hours work at home to finish my Unix version on time, so I do not understand you blaming me for delaying the project and said Karen deserves a lot of credit. I did demo Unix version to Rose, Crate, and Nadell. They were very happy with the Unix version because it was simple, fast, and cost only 1% of the old version, therefore presented a better solution. Rose sent an email to you and asked me help to install and to learn Unix version, and I did not understand why you said I feel that the COBOL tool will be more useful and understandable to them. Your email, I certainly expected the task to be done a lot sooner than now if you had worked with Karen's programs and JCL instead of developing the Unix program. I have made this clear in several staff meetings that what I expect is the COBOL/JCL tool to be in production. Karen deserves a lot of credit for this JCL proc converter and the ideas which allowed my group to narrow down the list of datasets to back up for the drive plan, and also to allow us to get the cross-reference between datasets and JCL/programs. Since groups that use procs in their JCL are mainframe-centric, I feel that the COBOL tool will be more useful and understandable to them. Not all mainframe groups have Unix programmers on their staff. Hence, the task assigned to you was to put the COBOL tool in production for other groups to pick up and adopt for their systems. This was not achieved. That said, the Unix program is another solution to the same problem, basically reinventing the wheel. 2. Alchemist-like Unix migration tool. You have been inconsistent in rebuffing my request to demo the tool that I developed at the first communication meeting by saying, that is not what a communication meeting is for. Yet during the second communication meeting, you presented this tool by yourself. You called it a quick and dirty tool in your email, even though my tool completed one of your 2001 goals. From my point of view, this tool can replace the original Alchemist to include MVS migration and save millions of infrastructure money and CPU time, but it was rejected by you even just to talk to infrastructure people. 3. You asked me to do the Unix project all by myself without asking ready questions. You asked me to support I2 consultant KC, include FTP I2 information to I2, write both Oracle and Sybase programs, and compare both results in order to test me. You said in the following subject, I2 WIP flush is still reprojecting the WIP dates. Jerry, assume that Reddy is on vacation in the Himalayas with no phone or network access. PLS provide the info to Casey and also FTP the MP weekly save engine by today. Thanks. I finished this task all by myself even though this is against company policy. We are supposed to work together and ask questions of each other as a team. The FTP to I2 username and password were changed, causing me great difficulty until I called the consultant KC. Because I could not ask Reddy any questions. One time I tried to restore the I2 engine but the user function still did not work until Reddy told me this is an enable/disable function on the I2 engine. I asked Reddy where is the enable/disable function documentation, and he said nobody looks at the documentation, so he did not write it. Instead, I had to write all the details on G Drive. Reddy had the I2 project for a long time with the help of 5 or 6 I2 consultants, but only a few consultants were left when I was transferred to I2. Now Reddy was my only resource and you tell me not to ask him any questions. How could you expect me to handle I2 just like him? So I read I2 documentation and traced I2 scripts and trained myself. Like I said, I can't do 90% of the I2 work. During Reddy's long vacation to the Himalayas or whatever, I would be the only one left to handle all I2 Unix technical issues and support users. As the person putting the responsibility in Reddy's absence, I suggested we define 3 user groups. On I2 Unix security login, 8. Use only npm and login for batch production jobs. Currently only you and Reddy have the password to do the write and executive function. B. Define Unix persons as a group composed of people like Reddy and myself. All functions would be just like npm, but any write executive function will have the logon ID and timestamp on it. C. Define all vocal programmers as a group while others have read-only functions as does my current logon ID CJJSSC on R81/R82/R83 production server. You rejected this suggestion. How could you tie my hands like that by making me do work without a production password and expect me to handle I2 Unix production problem just like Reddy did? 1 or 2 years ago, all groups shared one username as npm until a mistake was made by somebody that deleted the whole directory. You did not know who did it, and changed the npm password to one that only Reddy and yourself knew. The Unix